Hey, what's going on? So I just got out of a showing of Twisters, the sequel to the 1990s disaster film Twister, with no S at the end. It is probably top shelf, the golden standard, at least in my book, for disaster films of that era and afterwards. And we haven't gotten a good disaster flick in a while, so I was really excited about this one coming out, and it did not disappoint. I will go more into my review, but first leave a comment down below, do the subscribe thing, all the things. So, right off the bat, I had a great time. I would see it again. It was better than I thought it would be, and I already figured that I would enjoy it. I'm going to break it down into a couple of points. First, we'll talk about the characters. The two leads in the original film, Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. People who liked that film love those characters, and rightfully so. They're simple, they feel like real people. They're, very easy protagonists to root for. And I would say that's the same case in this film. Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones. Glenn Powell's character, Tyler Owens, is, if you've seen the trailer, they call him the Tornado Wrangler. And he's a YouTuber. He's a bit of a cowboy. He drives into the tornadoes and he anchors his truck into the ground. He goes, woo, a whole lot. I mean, I suppose if I drove a truck into a tornado and anchored it into the ground, I would also yell woo, among other things. Then you have Daisy Edgar Jones. She's obsessed with storms, always has been. She's buttoned up, she's a scholar. Her and Glenn Powell cross paths I'd say, about a quarter of the way through the movie. You find out that Glenn Powell is actually a pretty smart cookie. They have a lot of knowledge, but they approach storm chasing very differently. That causes tension. It also causes attraction. Those two become very easy characters to root for in the context of the story and with each other. I thought their chemistry was good. They were well acted. The side characters were fun and interesting. They never got too annoying. The potential was there for them to get really annoying, and it never really reached that point. And the original was that way. So the characters, I was impressed. I really thought they did a good job with the writing and their development, and everybody had a pretty satisfying ending, I thought. Now we move on to the story. The story in the original is they're chasing tornadoes and they're trying to get data from within the tornado. That's where you have Dorothy. Dorothy makes a brief appearance here in this movie, in the opening scene. The story in this film is a little bit different in that you have Kate, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, and Kate is trying to find a way to disrupt a tornado, to get it to collapse within itself. That journey of hers takes a couple of twists and turns, and there's a couple speed bumps along the way. But the premise was interesting. I know nothing about the science behind it, but I had a good time, and I was digging it. The story isn't going to blow you away. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, and it should be. It's a disaster film. It's a story about tornado chasers. It really should be about as simple as it was. And finally, we're going to get into the tornadoes of the movie, the real star of the show. The tornadoes were really cool. And I think they balanced the scenes out really well. You have a few where the stakes are pretty low and it's just them studying the tornado or trying to collect data. You have a few more, they're chasing and it's a bit intense because, are they going to reach the tornado in time? We got to get in its path. And there's that level of excitement. And then there are a few scenes where the stakes get high. People are dying and things get really intense. And that really creates a nice balance when you're watching the film. The tornadoes never get old. It was a nice spread of energy in each of those scenes. Something else they do in this movie, and they do this in the original, but I think in this movie they drive the point home a little bit more, is that tornadoes are terrifying. This movie has a few different scenes where you see our main characters helping out, towns that get hit by a tornado, or they're trying to help people find shelter. It's actually a bit of a plot point, helping people in times of crisis. I really appreciated that. A couple other points in the movie I want to mention. The music. The music was composed by Benjamin Wallfisch, and the score in the movie is really good. It reminded me at times of the original. It's a bit more instrumental. Kate's theme, it's this piano riff that plays whenever she becomes the focus. It's the first thing you hear because she's the first thing we see when the movie starts. And there are scenes where you can see her watching the weather and she's like picking up on stuff that other people aren't really looking for. That's kind of her thing. You know, she has a natural gift for detecting where storms are going to land, where tornadoes are going to land. And in those scenes, this piano riff will play. It reminds me of The Wind. If I were to guess, I would say that was the point, but it reminded me of The Wind. But anyway, just wanted to give a shout out to Benjamin Wallfish for writing a very cool score. Very cool theme for Kate. Well, who's going to like this movie? I think fans of the original who love a good disaster flick, like myself, will have a great time with this movie. You've got nothing to worry about. It's in the same spirit as the original without feeling like a carbon copy. It has all the same, visual spectacle that the original did, just with modern CGI. And the characters, much like the original, are likable, and none of the side characters ever really get annoying. Who's not going to like this movie? People who don't like disaster films, your meteorologist friend who doesn't like, scientific inaccuracies or plot holes or fun. Those people aren't going to like it. If you're not one of those people, I think you'll have a good time. Like I said, it's not going to blow you away. It's not going to knock your socks off. You're not going to leave the theater going, oh my gosh, that is the best movie of the year. No, but you will have a great time. So, Twisters, I recommend it. Great summer flick. I can't wait to see it again. So leave a comment down below. Do you like disaster films? Which one is your favorite? Did you like the original Twister? And what did you think of Twisters? Thanks for watching.